What I'm really here to talk about today is integrated pest management and how it affects the environment, the sensitive environments, and particularly in the schools. You know, the very young and the very old are our most sensitive people. So the school environment, of course, is very important, as is our elderly residents. Things have also changed with new construction now. You know, when you hear of this tight building, you know, especially these new LEED constructed buildings, and they're so well sealed up without functional windows and things, and they really need to have good indoor air quality, from janitorial supplies to pest control supplies. And the same thing with all our schools, be it new or old. So what I really want to talk about is the integrated pest management. You know, some of you may very well have heard the term before. It's been thrown around for years and years. And really, when I first heard about it was about 30 years ago, and it really started in agriculture. And it really just meant integrated pest management was more than one method to control pests. So not just strictly relying on insecticides. Now, when agriculture got into it, they weren't trying to worry about the environment at that time. Pesticides were expensive. So they wanted to find a way to use less pesticides. And also the other thing is that they got insect resistance to certain families and classes of insecticides. So integrated pest management started with that, rotation of crops, different things they did. It's been thrown around in the structural pest control, which is what we're talking really about today, for years and years and years, but it's never really caught on. You know, because the fact of the matter is, what the public is used to is when you used to see, you know, the bug man show up. He came in with his little stainless compressed air sprayer and squirted around your baseboards. So it was just regular applications of pesticides all the time inside. And that's what we've gotten away from now. I like to refer to integrated pest management as an inspection-based pest management. And that's based on your inspection. You make a decision. Do I need to use a pesticide here? Is there something else I could do to correct this situation if it's a sanitation issue? Possibly, is there a branch of a tree touching the roof and the ants are coming over? Rather than hosing the whole tree and the whole structure down with an insecticide, why don't we just cut the branch back? You know, simple things like that. Door sweeps on buildings. You know, you see light under that door. People say, oh, spray the heck out of that every time you come here, because the millipedes and the ants, bless you, are coming in here under that. Why not put a better door sweep on and physically keep them out? It's really very common sense pest management, but people had come to rely too much on pesticides. So that's what I wanted to talk about, was our inspection-based services and seeing if there's any contributing factors that can be eliminated when and if, and you will need pesticides. We can't survive without them, you know, from the farmer end to the structural end, but then we can decide the best way to address it. It's taken a little time for the public to pick up on some of the things we do. We may have an assisted living facility where our elderly residents are very sensitive to the acronym is the VOCs, volatile organic compounds. And whether it's janitorial supplies or pesticides, these are what volatilize and give off fumes. That's what we want to avoid. But sometimes you have a panic and emergency situation. A case might be fire ants, the imported fire ants. They're streaming in under a baseboard in one of the residents' apartments. What do? Do we go in there and hose it down with the VOC? No, there's options, but it's getting people to understand it. Soapy water as a direct contact spray directly on an insect will kill it as well as anything. You know, from a professional standpoint, people are saying, well, I'm hiring you to use soapy water. No, in that particular situation, as a contact kill for those insects, that soapy water works fine. Now we'll go outside, determine where they're coming in, why they're coming in, and the best way to address it from the exterior. So there's definitely the need for pesticides there. But, you know, nowadays you've got EPA reduced risk products. And pay attention when you hear that. And the exciting part is they're excellent products. And they've really lowered the toxicity. Some of them are literally non-toxic to mammals. You actually see pesticides in 2014 that don't carry a signal word. And the signal word merely tells you about the level of toxicity of a product, danger, warning, caution, danger being the most toxic. And we've got products now that don't even have that. That if you read the note to physician, it says if accidentally ingested, no intervention required. Take a Tums if you get a little indigestion. But literally, that's how far the products have come. And the best part about it is they're efficacious. They work. So you're getting, it's not a trade-off. You know, people think, oh, you used to have the good old stuff in the old. No, that's not true. In 37 years I've done this, the products we have now are better than anything we had in the past. And yet so much safer and different in the way we apply them. If any of you people are with facilities, and I assume a lot of you are, whether schools, you know, you shouldn't see that guy coming in there with that compressed air sprayer anymore and spraying all your baseboards. That's not the way it should be done. If there is a need to do an application, you know, the industry is really, those that are on the leading edge, has made a big turn towards baits. Baits work very well. They're insect specific. They don't volatilize. They don't give off any fumes. And they can be applied in cracks and crevices where there's no contact, no exposure for anybody, or in containerized applications. So there's a lot of options there. Exterior, you have a whole nother set of options where you can use baits and what I call targeted pest control. If you've got one window and you've got ants coming up and in that window outside, first of all, if the caulking deteriorated out there, some clear silicone caulking can do some amazing things. But if you do have a colony of ants or something outside, you can try to trace that back to where the colony is and treat it directly. Rather than the old days of spraying down the whole outside of the building from, you know, used to leave and everything, the eaves, everything was dripping with product. Well, I mean, that's what we knew at the time, but that's not the way it is now, nor it's not the way it should be now. So green pest control, and that's what I consider green pest control. And greenwashing is alive and well in the pest control industry. As soon as we had people who I think a lot of you here are certainly that way, that are really interested in green pest control, then you get the Me Too's. Oh, me too, we're green. You know, oh yeah, we're green. We do green pest control. And they show up and they do what they always did. So the thing I would recommend to you is look for certifications. Companies that are certified as having special training, special protocols. You know, they get on-site visits. The National Pest Management Association has one called Green Pro, and they do site visits, third-party audits. The toughest one in the country is the IPM Institute of North America, and they have a Green Shield certified program. The toughest one, most people don't even go for it. I'm real proud to say we were the first ones in the state of Florida to get it, and we're one of only 2 companies statewide that have it. But these certifications at least break you out. You have to have trained it, you have to have written protocols, you don't just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. And that's really what you need to be looking for out there, is certified companies and how they're going to go about it.